Propnight review. Welcome. Today we're gonna have, as I said before, the Propnight, a ludicrous yet effective spin of a symmetrical horror. I'm currently hunkered down, crouched over the machine while working with a team of other 3 survivors to try and escape the moody campsite, and initially it's easy to feel like we've all been here before. Scary monsters hunting us down, thick, regular skills check being asked of me during this very repair. You know it. Suddenly through before it all becomes a bit too routine, something amazing happens. The screen darkness, the music swells, and I'm just fine. The imposing creature strides right on mine without notice. The 3 feet under them, and why? Because I'm no longer a whiny teen. I just turned into a rubber chicken. Think cluck. It might sound incredibly simple, and to a certain extent it is, but these clears and frankly comically ridiculous sequences are common sight in Propnight. And thought it'd be easy to look at it and preserve it just another day of those games started in mood of Friday of the 13th and Dread by Daylight fanatic parried back and still managed to feel distinct by rewriting the popular asymmetrical horror rulebook in one key way. You can transform into almost anything. At first, this horror meets prop hunt premise take a while to get used to. This is mainly because learning all 4 of the maps available at launch is absolutely key to knowing what objects you can take the form of, and how the best hide in your surroundings using each. A bottle of wine resting on a tractor, for instance, probably isn't going to fool even the most unobservant killers. However, the more you play, you better understand the physics of how each item can move, the more effective and survivor you be. You may even make it alive. It helps that any prop you can take the form of always highlighted in orange glow. One button press it's all takes to transform, and before you know it, you hopping around the map as far as sprinkled pace you human feet could ever take to you. This is where the variety of different size objects also feeds into Propnight's subtle genius. After all, a simple pebble is much lighter object than say a high bale. In the heat on the moment throughout with the monster you trail, you might have limited options available. Cut to you trying to flee across a field of what is not so sneaky scarecrow. The game can be a great source of original comedy in this way, easing a lot of tension you feel when trying to repair the prop mechanics necessary to escape. All 5 of the playable survivors are designed to be weak, as you expect, but each starts off with a specific skill. From a basic medkit to camera capable of temporarily stunning your stalker, you never feel completely helpless, especially since the environment is your most effective hiding tool. Outsmarting the killer and escaping it will be surprising to hear. It's always better when we played friends as opposed to the randoms. Saying that, I never once struggled to find a game win week or so since Propnight launched, and because most players are already familiar with the 4 vs 1 setup, you never look far for a challenge. So what are the killers actually look like? They're just as significant as component as the pop hunt gimmick itself. After all, being responsible for the half potential fun when you do want to scare something spooky teenagers. Whenever Day by Daylight starts out entirely original and eventually add like a Ghostface and Pyramid here and various license deals, Propnight doesn't have any of that and therefore feels purer by compression. The 5 playable killers all riff on established stereotypes any horror africano will be familiar with us. Sure, but this actually works like a game's favor. Propnight killers aren't limited to skills and abilities were typically associated with the some of Hollywood best. Rather, each scare factor is effectively cranked all the way up to 11 in the early matches, before you're aware of what exactly each one can do. Thankfully all fun to use and offer just enough distinction between one another, so let players find their preferred hunting style. You might for instance enjoy Igor and Chainsaw Welding Money ability to have rev sounds off and the other side of map in the order to jump on the survivors. However, the Ghost Granny ability to temporarily turn invisible and lay knife traps might be more you think. Overall, despite having a small collection of maps, there is enough room for experimentation. Learning how to spot hiding survivors as a killer is much different style of play, but both options require you build up a good knowledge of each location. If you're a survivor, you might think you're safe being another plushie toy hiding amongst many, but if you're dealing with a killer who knows the correct number, you'll be stuffed. Propnight nature to empathize all fights over fights tactics. In this way makes more tense and surprisingly deep cat and mouse like matches, where both sides must try to outwit each other. Unfortunately for us, inventive, deceptive and fun to play Propnight can be, its launch on Steam hasn't been without a gamut of technological glitches. Whatever it survives, being able to repair prop matches from impossible distances or item screens sticking around and blocking my view during the entire of some matches, your chances of winning might end up being denied of fates outside you own. It is annoying, of course it is, but most matches run smooth enough, and despite being a small indie studio, FNTASTIC has already rolled out various patches. Glitches aside, some killers like Grinding Imposter feel almost too overpowered, so too, hopefully, the team can tackle balancing next. Is the Propnight the most original, polished, asymmetrical horror experience out there? Definitely not. But it is a fun spin on established concept that knows how to make the action tensions challenging and never without several hysterical moments thanks to the core prop copyright mechanics. Once more maps, killers and survivors abilities are added over the time, it's not hard to see becoming worthy 4 vs 1 alternative for the players craving something familiar yet. Propnight provides a good gameplay foundation for horror fans to enjoy, while leaving enough room for its unique hide-and-seek setup to be expanded upon the future. Slight technical woes aside, this is some of the most fun had-eye online game all year, and offers a fresh change of pace when compared to some of the bigger gen entities.